Hi, my name is Dante, and I'm here to tell you this story that you'll never forget. One day, I woke up in the middle of nowhere, but turned out to be the outskirts of what I found out to be New Jersey. I began to walk towards the city, and eventually I found a car. I found that the car had the keys still in the ignition. So I took the car and decided to head towards New Jersey. I found a sign that said that there was a party happening in the city, so I decided to go to it. I looked at the sign, and it said that there were 9 streets that you had to go through to get to the center of the city. I thought it was kind of weird myself, but I decided not to ask questions to a sign. So there I was, on the first street. I was driving up to the city, and I noticed that the street was very bad, and the neighborhood didn't look too good. In fact, it looked very questionable. I looked on a rooftop, and I saw that there was this guy drinking on the roof. Well, kind of drinking. Anyways, after a while, the guy looked at me and started yelling some untranslatable language in my direction. I could tell that the gentleman obviously had given up on life and decided only to drink every day. So, I saw my turn and took it as fast as I could. There I was, Street 2. I saw some people up ahead in an alley, so I decided to stop by. Maybe they would have some information on what was going on. After a while, I decided that the people's character probably wasn't the best, and that I should probably just move along. But then I started to look a little closer, and then I was definitely sure that I wanted to move along. It was then that I understood what they finally meant by STDs were given those to only who are lustful. I guess they were right. I saw my next turn and decided to make haste. Man, this was getting weird. There I was, 3rd Street, or I guess you could say a type of Chinatown-like food court. It was pretty cool, I guess, but something that really struck me was that they had toll roads with more than one. It was 3, all in a row. I searched through my wallet for a few seconds and decided that, well, I did have $30, so I could probably get through. This was probably going to be okay. I got to the first toll road, and I noticed that the guy was extremely large, a gluttonous type person. He was very greedy, too. He charged me $10. Then I got to the second one. It was another guy. Much like the first in the gluttonous way, but he was very oblonged. He also demanded $10. When I finally got to the third person, I had assumed he was going to give me the charge of $10, which I guess I really couldn't avoid. But it's okay. Their greed will get what's coming to them. I don't think they could fit through the door of that box anyways. I decided I would go ahead and skip the sightseeing and just go straight to the party. I was broke now anyways. I had finally pulled up to my 4th Street. I had almost been there. I'm almost to the party, I thought. This won't be too bad. I've seen some weird things, sure, but, you know, it's pretty good. I'm almost there. I started to look around, though. 4th Street was kind of weird. Everyone here was greedy, to say the least. Stealing from each other. They all had some weird piggy bank-shaped idol in their hands. You could see the greed just running from their eyes. I really couldn't stand the smell of this place. It was just terrible. All this greed flying around. I decided to tail it out of there, man. Why would I stick around there? It was here that my car began to make strange noises. It was then that I decided to check the gas gauge. I noticed that I was out of gas. Actually, I was on empty. Knowing that I had no money for gas, I decided to fill up the pump anyways. Hey, I was thinking maybe this guy would be a nice guy and just let it slide. So I filled up the car. I began to walk up to the store to explain to the guy what had happened. Hopefully he'd forgive me. It was at this point that someone tried to mug me. He had a knife. Now me, of course, not having any money, couldn't really bribe the guy to let me go. So I just told him I had no money. The man angrily lunged at me, kicking me in the nuts. I then proceeded to fall to the ground, where the guy began to walk away. I decided to just hightail it out of there and head on to the next street. This better be one hell of a party, because if it's not, I'm gonna be very mad. Now, as you can plainly see, this is a bit awkward. I made contact with a type of heretic. He was naked in the middle of the street. I honked my horn. He wouldn't move out of my way, so I just drove through. I figured the faster I got through this street, the faster I could get through the next street. This city was really starting to creep me out. I've seen the news. You know, those bad stories about how Los Angeles is so bad and there's all this fighting. I didn't know it was this bad. That something could be this bad, that people could live like this. It was terrifying, really. Disturbing in every way and shape. Everything had graffiti on it, cracks layered the street. People sat on rooftops with guns, waiting for people to jump off of roofs. New Jersey, in my eyes, had Los Angeles topped, no matter what. I gave up everything I've ever known, and decided to leave this place as soon as possible. I wanted to get out of this city. This party wasn't even worth it anymore, but I realized that there's pretty much no turning back now, and I'm kinda stuck going to this party. Yeah. So you see, I had finally made it. I was at the supposed party, the Ninth Street. It seemed great, except for the fact that there was no one there. I noticed a parking lot, so I pulled into it. I got out of my car, and I found a sign that pointed in the direction of a warehouse that said party. I went into the warehouse, where the party was supposed to be held, but it was an ambush. I was attacked, so I decided to run. I ran back out the back, and I found out that there was a helicopter there, so I hopped into it and tried to fly away. Now, because me not knowing how to fly a helicopter, I kind of got up in the air and fell out of the sky. And that's how I got here. What?